Host A, welcome to our program. Today we've prepared a very special piece of material to discuss. Host B, that's right. It's a transcript of a dialogue between a teacher and a student. They are discussing a question I think we've all pondered. How do you actually change a deep-seated habit? Host A, exactly. For example, they use the theme of not lying, but the angle they take is incredibly cool. They use a very physical metaphor. The actual growth process of neurons in our brain. Host B, yes, using a biological image to explain an abstract psychological transformation. So today we are going to break down this metaphor and see what insights it offers for understanding the mind and self-transformation. Host A, alright, let's dive straight in. At the start of the dialogue, a student complains that a 4-minute training session is too short, but the teacher's response is very direct. He says that's for people with scattered minds. If you're up for it, you could do it for 24 hours. So what exactly is this training they are talking about? Host B, I think this is the most interesting part. The training is actually a mental exercise, high-intensity focus on a single concept. Host A, like not lying, as they mentioned, to help the student understand. The teacher uses a core metaphor. Imagine a neuron in your brain trying to grow a new connection. He says you must use your concentration to maintain it, so that the new connection can set or stabilize. Host B, so concentration is like electricity? Host A, exactly. If you get distracted too quickly, the power is cut. That connection that just started growing will simply retract. Host B, retract. When I read that, it felt a bit discouraging. You mean all that effort goes to waste just because of a momentary lapse? Host A, that's a great question, but I don't think it's meant to be discouraging. Instead, it highlights how vital consistency is. Host B, ah, I see. It's telling you that changing the mind isn't a one-and-done task. It's a process of cultivation, like watering a flower. Host A, exactly. Then they move to the next stage, consolidation. The material says that after you focus and set the connection, you must actively contemplate. Host B, contemplate what? Host A, the benefits of the new habit and the harms of the old one. So, it's not just staring blankly at a thought. You have to give it a why. It's like laying a wire in the brain. You don't just plug it in. You have to define where the wire goes and why it must go there. Host B, that's a great way to put it. But what's even more fascinating is that the material suggests this isn't just about strengthening. It's about active pruning. Host A, pruning? Yes. The teacher describes the neurons of an average person as looking like an octopus, stretching out tentacles in every direction. Host B, that sounds incredibly inefficient. A total waste of energy. Host A, precisely. So, when you consistently contemplate why not lying is good and what trouble lying causes, you are giving that growth process a clear direction. You're telling the brain, hey, this path is important. Give it all the nutrients. Ignore those useless side roads and let them wither away. Host B, wow. So it's a process of moving from chaos to order. Host A, yes. And looking at it from the other side. If building a new habit is consciously guiding neurons to grow in a good direction, then our usual messy thoughts are just letting them grow wildly everywhere. Host B, you hit the nail on the head. There's a part where a student has a sudden, deep realization. It was a real aha moment, the turning point of the dialogue. Host A, what did they say? Host B, the student said, I used to think I was the one thinking these things. Now I realize it's just a chaotic and neurotic process. They even called their own thoughts insane or neurotic. Host A, I was shocked when I read that. It's such a blunt and honest admission. Host B, I think it's more than just intellectual understanding. It's an emotional severance. The octopus metaphor gave the student the key to see their inner chaos. This delusion, as they call it, was no longer just a vague worry. It became a physical image of neurons firing randomly and wasting life energy. Host A, and then the teacher says something very heavy. This chaotic process will exhaust your very life. Host B, that's a crucial point. Inner chaos isn't just about being unhappy. It is a physical drain on your life force. They use the word inversion. Everyone wants happiness. Yet this chaotic mode of thinking almost always produces suffering. Host A. It's as if our brain's wiring is set in the opposite direction of our life goals. Host B. Exactly. That's why they contrast this state with the mind of a Buddha. In their model, the mind of an enlightened being isn't chaotic. When they need to establish a new conceptual connection, the neuronal growth is a straight line. Host A. A straight line. Clear goals, clear intent, ultra efficient. No energy wasted on random tentacles. Host B. It provides an ideal blueprint for what the mind can achieve, a state of pure, powerful precision. Host A. I get the contrast now. On one side, we have our octopus brain messy and energy draining. On the other, the Buddha's mind precise and efficient like a laser. But that leads to a natural question. If the brain is a physical, wired network, can our neurons plug into the Buddha? Host B. Haha, the student asked that too. But the teacher's answer was a flat no. Host A. Why? Host B. Because they moved the discussion from the hardware of the brain to a different dimension. The teacher says neurites, the tentacles, are physical matter within your body. They need energy and nutrients. You can't physically extend a piece of matter out of your body to connect with another being. Host A. I see. Changing yourself is a construction project inside your own brain. It's a wired network upgrade. Host B. Exactly. But if you want to connect to a higher consciousness, like a Buddha or Bodhisattva, you need a different mechanism. This is where they introduce the second brilliant metaphor: wireless signal Wi-Fi. Host A. Wi-Fi? That's perfect. Host B. They say the compassion and wisdom of the Buddhas, their merits, is like a powerful wireless signal that permeates space. It's everywhere. Host A. And our mind is the receiver. Host B. Right, but just knowing the signal exists isn't enough. You need the SSID, the network name. For example, focusing on the name of Guanyin Bodhisattva, and then you need the password. Host A. I love this metaphor. It explains why simply knowing about Buddhism isn't enough. In a room full of signals, you have to search for a specific name to lock onto it. Host B. Exactly. And the password, according to the material, is constant mindfulness and reverence. Host A. Reverence? They spent a lot of time defining that. It's not just politeness or respect. They used a staggering metaphor, clutching grass at the edge of a cliff. Host B. That sounds intense. Host A. It's extreme but precise. Imagine you've slipped off a cliff. As you fall, you desperately grab a single blade of grass growing from the rock. In that moment, that fragile blade is your only hope. It is your entire world, that absolute dependence, that singular focus, that state where you dare not relax for a second. That is what they mean by reverence. Host B. So it's a sense of necessity. Without this, I am finished. Host A. Precisely. This kind of reverence isn't about etiquette. It's about survival. It fleshes out all other distractions, allowing the receiver of your mind to reach its cleanest, strongest state of connection. Host B. Using the cliff metaphor to explain a connection password. That completely changes how I think about prayer or chanting. It's a state of connection. Host A. We've gone from wire brain networks to wireless soul signals. But then the dialogue moves to yet another level, the nature of reality. Host B. Right. They mentioned seeing a light around neurons in a video. What was that? Host A. This light is the cornerstone of the whole theory. They describe it as non-material, like an architectural blueprint or an image map. The core concept is, intent precedes matter. Host B. Intent precedes matter? Host A. Think of an architect. They must first conceive the building in their mind, or on paper. That blueprint is the intent. That is the light. Then the workers, our bodies, matter and energy, build the physical structure according to that blueprint. Host B. The mind is the creator. We've heard that many times, but following it from neuroscience metaphors to here makes it feel different. Host A. It really does. It's not just a philosophy. It suggests that every thought we have, That invisible light is literally building our reality for the next second. Host B. Which brings us back to why delusion is so damaging. If you waste your mental energy, the light that draws the blueprint and chaos, fear and negativity, you are essentially using top-tier design skills to build a crumbling, shaky shack. Host A. It's a fundamental misuse of energy. And they take it even further. They suggest that this light or information state is what continues to exist after the physical brain is gone. It carries the data of a person's lifetime, their karma. Host B. So the entire discussion evolved from how to quit a small habit to a grand framework for life, death, and the nature of consciousness. Host A. It's the beauty of this dialogue. It bridges the gap between a practical psychological problem and a deep metaphysical worldview. It makes the abstract concept of changing one's mind feel like a tangible, biological process you can visualize and operate. Host B. It certainly makes me want to be more careful with my thoughts. Host A. We'll leave you with one final thought. This material reveals that our untrained minds are like neurons frantically reaching out in all directions, active, yet chaotic and wasteful. But what if you did the opposite? What if you consciously chose one direction, one positive quality or habitat, poured all your scattered mental energy into it like glue? According to this theory, you wouldn't just be changing a thought, you would be physically reshaping your brain and redrawing the very blueprint of your reality.